Most folks think that if something washes down the drain, it is gone for good. But I can tell you, that is one of the most expensive assumptions a homeowner can make. After 3 decades of fixing pipes and clearing drains, I have seen the damage firsthand. Today, I am walking you through 12 things you should never pour down your drain. Number 8 is going to surprise a lot of you, and make sure you stick around for the bonus tip at the end. The first thing on our list is cooking oil, grease, and fat. And honestly, this is the single biggest drain destroyer I have seen in 30 years of plumbing work. Here's what happens. You finish frying up some bacon or searing a steak, and that leftover grease looks like a liquid. So your first instinct is to pour it right down the kitchen sink. It flows down easy enough while it is hot. But as soon as it hits the cooler pipes below, it starts to solidify. It coats the inside walls of your drain line like candle wax, building up in layers. Over time, that buildup narrows the pipe opening until water can barely squeeze through, and it gets worse. That grease layer becomes a magnet for every other little bit of food waste that passes by. Coffee grounds, rice, small scraps, they all stick to it. And before you know it, you have got a full blockage. Clearing a grease clog professionally can run you anywhere from $150 to $500 or more, depending on how deep into the line it has traveled. The fix is simple. Keep an old coffee can or a heat-safe jar next to your stove. Pour your used cooking oil and grease into that container. Let it cool and solidify, then toss it in the trash. Some folks even save bacon grease in the fridge for cooking later, which is a perfectly fine option. Just please keep it out of your pipes. The second thing you should never send down the drain is coffee grounds. I know. You rinse out your French press or your pour-over filter, and it seems harmless. Those fine little grounds just wash right down with the water. But here is the truth. Coffee grounds do not dissolve. They're actually one of the worst things for your plumbing because they clump together into a thick, dense paste-like sludge once they mix with water inside your pipes. Think of it like wet sand packing together at the bottom of a bucket. That sludge settles into the low points of your drain line and hardens over time. If you already have a little grease buildup in there, the coffee grounds stick right to it and accelerate the clog. Professional drain clearing for this kind of mess usually runs between $100 and $300. The better move is to toss your used grounds straight into the trash. Or better yet, sprinkle them in your garden. Coffee grounds make a wonderful natural fertilizer. Your tomato plants and flower beds will thank you for it. Some folks even use them to neutralize odors in the fridge. There are a dozen great uses for spent coffee grounds, but sending them down the drain is not one of them. The third thing that should never go near your drain is flour, and this one catches almost everyone off guard. You are washing dishes after a baking session or rinsing dough off your hands, and a little flour goes down the sink. It seems like nothing. But think about what flour does when you add water to it on purpose. It makes a thick, sticky paste. That is literally how you make glue in a pinch. The exact same reaction happens inside your pipes. The flour mixes with water, forms a gummy coating along the pipe walls, and starts trapping everything else that flows past it. I have pulled clogs out of kitchen drains that were basically a plug of hardened paste, and the homeowner had no idea flour was the culprit. It does not take a huge amount either. Even small quantities, repeated over weeks and months, build up into a real problem. Clearing this kind of clog typically costs between $100 and $250. The solution is easy. When you're done baking, scrape excess flour off your bowls, cutting boards, and countertops into the trash before you rinse anything in the sink. A dry paper towel works great for wiping down surfaces first. That one small habit will save your kitchen drain from a world of trouble down the road. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this video reach more homeowners like yourself who would also find this information helpful. All right, let's continue. The fourth thing you need to keep out of your drain is rice and pasta. This one trips up a lot of people because it seems so innocent. You strain your spaghetti or rinse leftover rice off a plate, and a handful of pieces slip down the drain. No big deal, right? Wrong. Rice and pasta share one very problematic quality. They keep absorbing water and expanding long after they have been cooked. A few stray noodles sitting inside your drain line will swell up and get soft and sticky. They cling to the walls of the pipe and to each other, forming a thick, starchy mass that blocks water flow. And if your garbage disposal chops them into smaller pieces first, that actually makes the problem worse, because now you have got tiny, sticky particles spreading further into the line and packing together in places you cannot easily reach. I have snaked kitchen drains and pulled out wads of expanded pasta that looked like they had been growing in there for months. The repair bill for this kind of clog runs between $100 and $300. The simple fix is to always scrape leftover rice and pasta into the trash or a compost bin before you wash your dishes. If you use a strainer in the sink, even better. Catch those strays before they ever reach the drain opening. The fifth item on our list is eggshells, and this one is surrounded by myths. A lot of homeowners believe that eggshells are actually good for your garbage disposal because they supposedly sharpen the blades. I have heard that one more times than I can count, and I need to set the record straight. Garbage disposals do not have blades like a blender. They have impellers that grind food against a stationary ring. Eggshells do nothing to sharpen them. What actually happens is the shells break into small, gritty fragments, and the thin membrane inside the shell acts like a sticky wrapper that binds those fragments together. That combination creates a sand-like paste that settles into your pipes and builds up over time. It is especially problematic in older homes, where the drain lines might already have some narrowing from years of mineral deposits. A clog caused by eggshell buildup can cost anywhere from $150 to $400 to clear, depending on how deep it has packed in. Instead of sending them down the disposal, toss your eggshells in the trash or crush them up for your garden. They are loaded with calcium and make an excellent natural supplement for your soil. Your plants get the benefit and your pipes stay clear. That is a win all around. The sixth thing you should never pour down your drain is medication and pills. When you find expired prescriptions or leftover over-the-counter medicine in the cabinet, it might seem logical to flush them down the toilet or dissolve them in the kitchen sink. After all, they dissolve in your body, so why not in water? Here's the problem. Pharmaceuticals do not break down the way you would expect in your plumbing or in the water supply. They pass right through your pipes and enter the municipal water treatment system. And here is the part most people do not realize. Water treatment plants are designed to filter out bacteria and microorganisms, but they are not equipped to remove dissolved pharmaceutical compounds. That means trace amounts of antibiotics, hormones, blood pressure medication, and painkillers end up in the water supply. Studies have detected these compounds in rivers, lakes, and even treated drinking water in communities across the country. Some municipalities have started issuing fines for improper pharmaceutical disposal because the contamination problem has gotten so serious. The right way to dispose of old medication is to check with your local pharmacy. Most pharmacies and many police stations have drug take-back programs where you can drop off expired or unused medicine safely. If no take-back option is available near you, the Food and Drug Administration recommends mixing the pills with something undesirable, like used coffee grounds or cat litter, sealing them in a bag, and putting them in the household trash. It takes just a couple of minutes, and it keeps harmful chemicals out of the water we all depend on. The seventh thing that should never go down your drain is paint and solvents. This is one I see constantly with fellow do-it-yourselfers, and I understand the temptation. You have just finished painting a bedroom or staining a deck, and you have got brushes, rollers, and trays covered in paint. The fastest cleanup is to rinse everything in the sink or the utility tub. But whether you are using latex paint or oil-based paint, sending it down the drain is a serious mistake. Latex paint is water-based, so people assume it is safe. But once it gets into your pipes and starts drying, it forms a rubbery, sticky film that coats the inside of the line. Layer after layer of that film builds up with each project, and eventually it restricts water flow enough to cause backups. Oil-based paints and solvents are even worse. They can eat away at certain pipe materials and create thick deposits that harden like plastic inside the line. Beyond the plumbing damage, paint and solvents are classified as hazardous waste in most states. Pouring them into your household drain can result in fines, and they contaminate the local water treatment system. Professional pipe clearing or replacement after paint damage can run anywhere from $200 to $600 or more. The proper approach is to wipe excess paint off your tools with newspaper or old rags before cleaning. For latex paint, you can rinse brushes in a bucket of water, let the paint solids settle, then pour off the clear water and dispose of the dried solids in the trash. For oil-based products, use the appropriate solvent in a container and take the used solvent to a hazardous waste collection site. Most counties run these collection events at least a few times a year. A little extra effort during cleanup keeps your pipes healthy and your community's water clean. The eighth thing on our list is chemical drain cleaners. And I know this one sounds backwards. You are probably thinking, wait, the product that is supposed to fix my drain is actually bad for it? Unfortunately, yes. Here is what most homeowners do not know. Those heavy-duty liquid drain cleaners you find at the hardware store work by creating an intense chemical reaction that generates heat and eats through whatever is causing the blockage. The problem is that the chemical does not know when to stop. It keeps reacting against the walls of your pipes, especially if the clog does not clear right away and the product just sits in there. Over time, repeated use of chemical drain cleaners can corrode metal pipes from the inside out and weaken PVC joints and fittings. I have seen copper drain lines with holes eaten right through them, and the homeowner had no idea the drain cleaner was responsible. They just kept pouring more in every time the drain slowed down, making the damage worse each time. Replacing corroded or damaged drain pipes can cost anywhere from $300 to $2,000 or more, depending on how much of the line is affected and whether walls or floors need to be opened up to access the pipes. The smarter approach is to use a simple hand snake or a drain auger for minor clogs. You can pick one up at any hardware store for under $20, and it will physically break through the blockage without damaging your pipes. For stubborn or recurring clogs, call a professional plumber who can use a camera inspection to identify the real cause. An enzyme-based drain maintenance product used monthly is also a much safer alternative. It uses natural bacteria to break down organic buildup without harming your plumbing. Trust me, your pipes will last decades longer without chemical drain cleaners eating away at them from the inside. The ninth thing you should never flush or wash down the drain is flushable wipes and paper towels. I cannot stress this one enough because the marketing on these products is incredibly misleading. The word flushable on the packaging simply means the wipe will physically go down when you flush the toilet. It does not mean it will break apart the way toilet paper does. Toilet paper is specifically engineered to disintegrate within seconds of hitting water. Flushable wipes are made from a much thicker, more durable fiber that holds its shape for a very long time. I have pulled wipes out of sewer lines that looked practically brand new even after sitting in water for weeks. They tangle together, snag on pipe joints and rough spots, and create blockages that can back up your entire sewer line into your home. Paper towels are the same story. They are designed to be absorbent and strong when wet, which is the exact opposite of what you want going through your plumbing. Municipal sewer departments across the country spend millions of dollars every year clearing massive clogs caused by wipes in the public sewer system. These giant clogs even have a name in the industry. Plumbers call them fatbergs because they combine with grease and fat to form enormous solid masses in sewer mains. On your end, a sewer line backup caused by wipes can cost between $150 and $500 or more to clear. The rule is simple. The only thing that should ever be flushed down a toilet is human waste and toilet paper. Everything else goes in the trash can. Keep a small wastebasket next to every toilet in your home, and you will never have to deal with a wipe-related backup. The 10th item on our list is motor oil and automotive fluids. If you do your own oil changes or work on your vehicles at home, please hear me on this one. Pour in used motor oil, transmission fluid, brake fluid, or antifreeze down a floor drain, a utility sink, or even onto the ground where it can wash into a storm. Drain is one of the worst things you can do. A single gallon of used motor oil can contaminate up to 1 million gallons of fresh water. That is not an exaggeration. Those are figures straight from the Environmental Protection Agency. Beyond the catastrophic environmental damage, motor oil coats the inside of your household drain pipes with a thick, stubborn film that traps debris and creates blockages over time. Antifreeze is especially dangerous because it has a sweet taste that attracts animals and children, and it is highly toxic even in small amounts. If it enters the water table through your drain system, the consequences can be devastating for an entire neighborhood. From a legal standpoint, improper disposal of automotive fluids can result in hefty fines in most states, sometimes ranging from $200 to over $1,000 per incident. The good news is that disposing of these fluids properly is easier than most people think. Nearly every auto parts store accepts used motor oil and automotive fluids for free. Many service stations and recycling centers do as well. Just pour your used oil into a clean, sealed container and drop it off the next time you are running errands. It costs you nothing and keeps a genuinely hazardous substance out of your plumbing and your community's water supply. The 11th thing that should never go down your drain is produce, stickers, and labels. Now, I know what you are thinking. Those tiny little stickers on your apples and bananas, how could those possibly cause a problem? And I get it, they seem completely harmless. But here is what happens. You are rinsing your fruit under the faucet, the sticker peels off, and it slips down the drain before you even notice. Multiply that by every piece of fruit you buy over months and years, and you have got dozens or even hundreds of those little stickers making their way into your pipes. The issue is twofold. First, those stickers are made from plastic or vinyl materials that do not break down in water. They are designed to withstand moisture on the shelf, which means they survive just fine inside your plumbing, too. Second, every single one of them has adhesive on the back. That adhesive sticks to the inner walls of your pipes, to your garbage disposal components, and to other debris that is passing through. Each sticker becomes a tiny trap that catches grease, food particles, and grit. Over a long enough timeline, this creates a buildup that contributes to slow drains and partial blockages. They can also cause problems further downstream at water treatment facilities because the screening equipment is not designed to filter out small adhesive plastics. The fix could not be easier. Just make it a habit to peel the stickers off your produce over the trash can before you rinse anything. It takes 1 second per piece of fruit and saves you a slow, frustrating buildup that is almost impossible to diagnose once it starts. The 12th and final thing you should never pour down your drain is concrete, grout, and joint compound. This is the big one for anyone who tackles home improvement projects. And I have seen this mistake cause some of the most expensive plumbing disasters in my entire career. Here is the scenario. You have just finished tiling a bathroom floor or patching some drywall. Your bucket, your trowels, and your grout float are all caked with material. And the easiest thing in the world is to rinse them off in the utility sink or the bathtub. But concrete, grout, and joint compound are all designed to do one thing really well, and that is harden. When you wash them down the drain, they do not just pass through. They settle into the low spots of your pipe, and they begin to cure and solidify right there inside the line. Once that material sets, it is essentially stone. No amount of hot water, no chemical cleaner, no hand snake is going to break through it. You are looking at cutting out and replacing entire sections of drain pipe, which can easily cost anywhere from $300 to $2,000 or more, depending on the location and accessibility. I have seen homeowners have to tear open finished basement ceilings to get to drain lines that were completely blocked with hardened thin-set mortar. The prevention is straightforward. Always clean your tools in a bucket, never in a sink or tub. Let the rinse water sit in the bucket until the solids settle to the bottom. Then pour off the clear water carefully onto a gravel area or into the grass, and scrape the dried solids into the trash. For grout and thinset, wipe your tools with a sponge and rinse the sponge in a bucket, not under a faucet. This one simple practice has saved my own customers thousands of dollars over the years, and it will do the same for you. And now for the bonus tip that professional plumbers swear by. If you want to keep your kitchen drain running clean and clear between professional maintenance visits, here is a safe and effective routine you can do once a month. Boil a full pot of water on the stove. While you are waiting for it to boil, pour about 1/2 cup of plain baking soda directly into the drain. Follow that with 1/2 cup of white vinegar. You will hear it fizz and bubble, and that reaction helps loosen light grease and organic buildup clinging to the pipe walls. Let that mixture work for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then carefully pour the full pot of boiling water down the drain to flush everything through. This method is completely safe for both metal and PVC pipes. It costs almost nothing, and it uses 0 harsh chemicals. I recommend this to every homeowner I work with, and the ones who actually do it once a month almost never call me back for a kitchen drain clog. It is the cheapest plumbing insurance you will ever find. Thanks for sticking with me through the entire video. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more DIY plumbing tips, and check out our other videos.